I gotta be on the stream in just a second.
Yeah, I thought it was great. If you were listening to Blaney as well as Kurt Busch talking about that, Blaney talking about getting your RPMs up to get the car to pull up off the corner, and Kurt explained it exactly why you would shift. Instead of rolling the corner like you normally do in an older stock car, you're trying to diamond the corner. So you're trying to aim that thing. So the shift comes in with the RPMs, it gets the motor up, it gives you more pop up off that corner. Makes perfect sense, but can you do it consistently?
We're going to have our picks coming up here in a moment, but let's look at the playoff standings right now. And DJ, I think the setup here is that there are a few drivers below that cut line and right at that cut line that feel very confident they can win this race today.
Yeah, it's got a whole group of them. I mean, you look at the first two guys underneath the cut line, both have wins here, Kevin Harvick and Eric Almirola. So this could be upset, and my pick a little bit later could possibly be one of these drivers that don't have a win in that car.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. I think one of these drivers, and maybe the one just right above these guys on the cut line, might be the guys to watch today.
Boy, Martin Truex Jr. on the pole today as well, and he's not traditionally a terrific qualifier. So when he's been able to
Alright,
hold you
second
there,
everyone.
very good race car. Let's check out our race-winning picks for the day and see what everybody has selected for a race winner. We'll start with the booth guys. Dale Jr. and William Byron. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff with Christopher Bell, the one you just picked, and Denny Hamlin for Steve Letarte. Yeah, that's a pretty safe pick here in New Hampshire all week. So,
Yeah.
All right, DJ, you're up. Who you got?
I'm going with the pole sitter, Martin Truex Jr. I'm trying to keep this alive. My prediction of 16 winners before the playoffs start, and Martin would certainly help get that close.
You're just hammering on that, aren't you?
Oh,
You
yeah.
said it like,
I am, yeah.
you're not going to let that go, are you?
If I'm wrong, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I love it. I love the conversation. He's certainly terrific. One of those like 19 home tracks, right?
That's right.
New Hampshire, a place where he loves being, right? Brad, who you got?
Well, being 7 feet tall, I bump my head a lot, and so the details are fuzzy, but I do know the facts. And the fact is, Chase Elliott is really good. I'm jumping over.
Right, I think I'm ready to go. So, Driver San Francisco soundtrack slaps. It does. Very good soundtrack. Yeah, I'm going to be ranking. We're going to be putting them in a tier list. So I'm going to start from the top and the bottom. Starting out with SL Corsa Competence Zone. I mean, I haven't played this too much. I will play a lot because I'm gonna put in haven't played because I haven't played it enough to rate it. SL Corsa, the Saturn one, best, like probably one of the most accessible sim racers out there. Extremely moddable. Like, of course, SL Corsa, at least my experience has been heavily modded, but yeah, it's probably the best. Burnout 2, haven't played that much. I only played for like 20 minutes. I mean, if it's a game that I've only played for like 20 minutes, I'm gonna put in haven't played because that's not enough to base an opinion off of it. Burnout 3, best. What's there else to say? Burnout Crash. Isn't this sound like mobile? Game, that mobile PSN kind of thing. Haven't played it. Burnout Dominator. I'm kind of debating between good and very good. Obviously, it's not particularly innovative for the Burnout series. It didn't really sell anything. So Forza Alpha's expansion in 2 days. Yeah, but when the expansion comes out, I'm going to be out of town, so can't play for a while. For at least a week. So, Burnout Dominator. Probably going to play him good because that's what I think of it. Because I like Burnout Dominator a lot because I like the presentation, the visual variety, like art style for that. But for a Burnout game, it's not super special anyway. Burnout Paradise, very good. Burnout Revenge, it's pretty obvious, best. Easily my favorite Burnout game ever. So let's talk about Burnout Paradise. So this one does have an open world map and all that, but didn't really work as well for me as Revenge and all that. Burnout 1, I have, but I've only haven't played that much, so I'm gonna put in haven't played. Dirt 2, best. Easily one of my favorite off-road games of all time. One of the best. Like, while people in the racing game community, I think. Dirt 1, very good. Like, the physics and the progression, very good game. I mean, Dirt 2 is definitely a big improvement. I mean, it looks a lot better. Like, more content. Yeah, Dirt 1 is going to go on very good. The only problem is the P filter. Comic McRae Rally, haven't played. Wait, is this... This is the Colin McRae mobile game, isn't it? Crap, mobile game. Played that much, but I know that sucks. I mean, if someone can say that this isn't the wait, I mean, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna create. Wait. I'm gonna call it. There. So the Colin McRae mobile game, I think this is. I'll play a good game as my favorite. Asmar WS V12. Yes, I wish I. Wait, what game are you even talking about? Colin McRae 2.0. Haven't played. Haven't played. A whole bunch of these are haven't played. Nope. Dirt 3. I don't know. It's only slightly worse than Dirt 2, if I'm honest. I mean, it looks way better because it doesn't have the P filter that Dirt 2 has. Oh yeah, Forza Horizon 1. That would definitely be at the top. Honest. Dirt 3 have the whole Gymkhana stuff like based around Ken Block. Dirt 3 is real good. It had amazing sound design. Really good graphics for a 11-year-old game. Oh, actually it is 11 years old now. Wow, I feel pretty old. I was in preschool when this game came out. But, yeah, Dirt 3. There. Dirt 4 was pretty okay, if I'm honest. It's not a huge fan of Dirt 4. I played it so much, but from what I remember, it just felt like a more casual version of Dirt Rally, like a lot of people are saying. Dirt 5, I'm going to put it in decent. I mean, the game had somewhat of decent idea, kind of be an homage back to the, like, 7th gen era of rallying games, but it definitely had its issues. Like, all cars felt the same. The graphics were kind of obnoxious in some areas, like, they're oversaturated. Like, the playgrounds feature could have been a little bit better because you can't have AI on it. Had a pretty bad launch state, but overall I did enjoy the game. I'll put in good. Probably one of the only good racing games in 2020, because 2020, if I'm honest, is probably the weakest year for racing games from what I know. And Dirt 5 was the only good one. Dirt Rally 2.0, very good game. Very enjoyable, but hard as heck, especially on a wheel. Super needs to be payback. Dirt 5, I mean, yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. In most ways, because it's full of microtransactions. But yes, Dirt 2.0. I haven't played so much because I can't get my wheel to like functioning properly, but Dirt Rally 2.0 will go in very good. Dirt Rally 1, same thing. I mean, Dirt Rally 2 is kind of similar, but it improved in many ways. And Dirt Rally, I'm having issues with currently. Wheel. Dirt Showdown. I'm gonna put Dirt Showdown in. Okay, it was kind of like a flat out. So with download driver and stuff like that, but the game was just extremely short, and it should have just been an expansion to Dirt 3. Drive Club, very good. So I get put it here because it looks real good, especially for 2014. And some at times it does look better than Gran Turismo 7 even. But the problem with Drive Club for me is the fact that, for all I know, like 90% of the game was locked behind DLC, which you can't get anymore because the game was killed off in 2019. It's Ducati something, Ducati Championship, whatever. I haven't played it. I don't know about it. F1 2009, I haven't played. 2012, I haven't played enough. 2019. 2020, I'm gonna put in. That's probably my favorite F1 game right now. Like with the My Team, and it's very content rich, and it's a big improvement over F1 2019 in some ways. So truck racing, haven't played. Fallout 2, probably put in good because I can't really get past the physics, which do take a lot of time to get used to, I'm honest. But I can put in very good because it is a very enjoyable game. So on Forza Horizon 2, I'm gonna put in very good. So I've actually been playing quite a bit of Horizon 2 lately. I mean, it's definitely not the best Horizon game, but it definitely does do some things better than Horizon 5. Like, as more of a festival vibe to it, the driving roads are a bit better. And I mean, come on. South of France and northern Italy is like the ultimate Forza Horizon location, even better than Japan, if I'm honest. So, Forza Horizon 3, best. It was a huge pillar in the Forza series. Cause like it was the first game where you could that was like extremely content rich, if you know what I mean. Like you have customization and all that stuff. Like a first extremely diverse map. A lot of things. Horizon 3 did pretty good. Horizon 4, even if folks say it's gonna be the weakest Horizon game, but it still has a whole lot of content. And my problems with Horizon 4 came to the fact that got burnt out of it pretty quickly, and the map was definitely pretty weak for a Horizon game. I mean, it was really big, had sick freaking elevation changes, but it was just Britain. Definitely not the best location for a Horizon game. Forza Horizon 1 best. The only Horizon game that seriously does okay on Music Festival. Like, it had probably the best soundtrack. There's no reason why Horizon 3 isn't best, is because its soundtrack was probably the most diverse and biggest. But Horizon 1 soundtrack is just so memorable. So many hits from the which basically it never did old, honest. So Horizon 1 isn't best, but Horizon 3. Forza Motorsport 2, never played. I have Forza Motorsport 3, but I haven't played it enough to base an opinion off of it. Forza Motorsport 4, of course, best. Easily the best Forza Motorsport game. So it's kind of Forza Motorsport 1, 2, 3. They're kind of going up, and then Forza Motorsport 4 was basically the peak because Forza Motorsport 5 was a big disappointment to most people. There you go, it's Forza Motorsport 4. Yeah, that's one. Right here. Forza Motorsport 5 was extremely disappointing because, like, it was full of DLC. Like, you have the microtransactions. It was a lot more shallow than Motorsport 4. Yeah, Forza 5, it's alright. It's okay, it's not that terrible like people say. I mean, it still does have good graphics and gameplay is pretty decent, but it was just a massive disappointment for Forza franchise. Forza Motorsport 6, I have never played. I don't have Forza Motorsport 6. And we have Forza Motorsport 7. So when the game first came out, I never played it when it came out because it didn't have an Xbox yet, but it would probably be around here. Okay, eh. But at the end of the game's life cycle, with all the updates and everything, it's actually a very good game. Well, it's part of the best Forza Motorsport games, so it's Motorsport 4, in my opinion. I mean, I guess end state, but at launch it was pretty eh. I haven't played Forza Motorsport 1. Forza Street, it's pretty obvious. And Motorsport 7, you mean? Something like that. Yeah, Forza Street, awful. It's not even an actual Forza game, and I am glad it does not actually exist anymore. Gran Turismo 2, I own Gran Turismo 2, but I've never played it. I mean, I got it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago at store for like $2, I think. I've never played it. Gran Turismo 3, I haven't played enough. Gran Turismo 4, yes. Probably the best Gran Turismo game. I've played quite a bit, but I've really progressed through the career mode. Not much a lot, but Gran Turismo 4 is probably the best Gran Turismo game. Gran Turismo 5, very good. Easily my most, the Gran Turismo game I've played the most. I mean, it was back when I was a 5-year-old who didn't even know how the progression worked or can really use a PS3 controller, but Gran Turismo 5 was a very good game. I probably got knocked down slightly because it was like pretty underwhelming for what could have been. Also, the fact that Gran Turismo 6 was a big improvement over 5, in my opinion. So I've only started to go through a game recently, and I'm just realizing how much more polished, and it doesn't feel anywhere near as rushes GT5 does. It's going to take as long to release as Gran Turismo 5, because if I wasn't Gran Turismo 5 supposed to be like a launch title for the PS3, but then it got pushed by like 5 years, almost 5 years. Gran Turismo 7, so when the game came out, it would probably actually be in the best, but ever since they messed up the economy, I'm still going to put it in good. I mean, yes, I know it's a bit of a grindy mess right now, but other than that, the core game is very good, in my opinion. We're going to bump it up. I mean, if the economy wasn't messed up right now, it would be in the best tier, the absolute best. So, yeah, it's Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo Sport, I'm going to put in good because, I mean, at launch, it would have been pretty meh. If I'm honest, in a lot of ways, it's kind of underwhelming, like they have car customization and stuff like that, but with, like, a lot of updates it got, because the game did live service very well. Yeah, like content updates every month. It's actually pretty good. And it's basically a basis of what Gran Turismo 7 would become. Because you can tell like the physics and graphics feel pretty similar. Yeah, Gran Turismo Sport goes in good. Gran Turismo 1, never played. Gravel, never played. I almost bought Gravel when it was on sale on Steam for like $3, I think it was, but I decided not to. Grid 2019 was pretty meh. I was not a huge fan of Grid 2019. It's supposed to be because the game, it just felt really boring. It was extremely underwhelming, if I'm honest. Like, we're waiting like 5 years for another grid game, and then this comes out of nowhere. And then it's just became being like so meh to the point where Codemasters literally just abandoned the game a few months later. That's how much of a flop it was. Grid 2, very good game. I like Grid 2 a whole lot. Grid 2, I know a lot of people say that's a massive downgrade. I mean, in some ways, it is. Doesn't really feel like anywhere near as serious as Grid 2008 does. But it's still extremely enjoyable. Like Excuse me. I mean, the graphics are very good for a late stage PS3 game. Yeah, they're very good for a late stage PS3 game, if I'm honest. And the career mode I liked a whole lot. And you have the crash physics, which were amazing. A lot of stuff. They did right with Grid 2. Grid Autosport, it's pretty alright. I just felt like it was kind of a bogged down version of Grid 2 with like worse graphics. It came out in 2014, even though the 8th gen consoles were already out. It just felt like a massive like bogged down version of Grid 2. Grid 1. And where do I put? Oh, yeah. Let's put it. Let's put it here. Here we go. I mean, there's a reason why people like Grid 2008 so much. Like the team system, the crash physics, the gameplay. The career mode was extremely intricate. Even though I haven't played as much as I should have to put here, but from my experience, it's an extremely good game. iRacing, I haven't played. I don't think I ever really will for an extremely long time because iRacing is freaking expensive, and I love some really bad sim racing as well. So, it's not a point not right now. Just to get playing decent. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, Juice 2 is a very enjoyable game, but there's nothing like super special about it. Except for seeing how many things you can cram into a game screen before the game being M-rated. But it was enjoyable. I had good customization, but there's nothing super special about it in my opinion. Juice 1 I never played. Juice 1. I haven't played enough. Midnight Club 2, I haven't played enough. Midnight Club 3, it's pretty easy. It's one of the best. I mean, Midnight Club 3, once you progress through a game enough, the game can get extremely nasty, extremely difficult. But other than that, the game's freaking amazing. Easily one of the best PS2 era racing games. In my opinion, and a lot of people was opinion actually. But I'm gonna bump it down a little bit because it just didn't feel as like good as Midnight Club 3 did. Midnight Club Hawaii, I know it had like a massive map, but it kind of didn't feel as like interesting as Midnight Club 3, like multiple maps. And you also have the fact that has quite a few technical issues, especially on PS3, like texture pop-ins, and the games also can get really nasty. Or a game like probably almost as bad as Midnight Club 3, but there's Midnight Club 1. I haven't played a lot of it. I haven't played any of these. Motorstorm Pacific Rift. I have those on the RPCS 3 or whatever the PS3 emulator is called, but I mean, I've gotten it to work, so I can't spend it here right now. Motorstorm 1, the original. It's been an extremely long time since I've played. I don't think I've played this game since like 2013. So like that, I don't remember so much about, but probably remember it's pretty good. A lot of ways. Like this Motorstorm Apocalypse, never played. Arctic Edge. Haven't played. Yeah, you keep on doing it. Need for Speed 2015. Okay, I really enjoyed Need for Speed 2015, even though it had so many flaws. Like with the physics and the copy eye and all those different issues that always online that whack the pause button, but they put in very good because I enjoyed Need for Speed 2015 so much with its like hard tuning. It looked really good even though it was only one look. And Need for Speed 2 I haven't played that much. Need Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. Yes. There. Need Speed Carbon Own the City. Wait, the DS version. This is very, very good. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, it's just a more of a. It's just a DS port Need Speed Carbon. It's probably like one of the best DS racing is if you're not looking for a Mario Kart. I mean, it's not. It doesn't look really terrible. The physics are good. The gameplay is very good, even though it's like completely different from Carbon. Need Speed Carbon, my favorite Need Speed game ever. So it's pretty obvious where I'm gonna put this. Need Speed Heat. It's a great game. It's like the game. It didn't have an end game, and Need Speed Heat also looks a bit worse than Hot Pursuit 2010 at times. But I did enjoy Need Speed Heat a lot. When the car customization was its very best. And that the copy I was really good. I wasn't a huge fan of the night and day thing because it felt pretty pointless. But I mean, Need Speed Heat did have some issues with the lack of like live service and like no end game basically, and somewhat terrible graphics at times. Need to be high stakes. Haven't played. Need to be Hot Pursuit 2. I haven't gotten that far in it. Hot Pursuit 2010. Yes, easily one of the best Need Speed games ever, in my opinion. I mean, it's extremely intense, like extremely fast paced. It has extremely good graphics, especially from 2010. I mean, it looks better than Need Speed Heat, like I said earlier, at times. And then Most Wanted 05. Okay, so there's gotta be someone, I don't know, maybe in chat saying, oh, it's just so freaking overrated. I mean, there's a reason why people like Most Wanted 2005 so much. I mean, it's just that good of Need Speed game. Like, what else do I need to say? Most Wanted 2012. I've been playing a lot of it lately. But, they're playing very good, actually. Very surprised to hear us. But, I mean, I like the gameplay a lot. The graphics were pretty good for 2012. I mean, the physics were pretty decent. I mean, even though it wasn't, like, intense break to drift, but I've never really had an issue with break to drift. But I do understand why people don't like break to drift. It's kind of intrusive for some. But I don't have an issue with it. I mean, the cop chase is real good. And also the multiplayer is probably 70% of the reason why it's in the very good tier. Even though I haven't played the multiplayer in so long. I don't think I played Need Speed Most Wanted. 2012's multiplayer since I was like in 3rd grade or something like that. But Need Speed Nitro, I haven't played enough, as this is the Wii version. Need Speed No Limits. Yeah. What else do I need to say? Need Speed Payback. Yeah, I'm gonna put in okay. Even though it was more meh than okay. So Need Speed Payback have egregious microtransactions and have worse graphics than Need Speed 2015. You have the Carbon, which was annoying. But the RSR and the Huracan were still extremely OP. But I mean, I've been mostly playing it with Unite lately. I mean, that has improved a lot of things. And you also have the fact that outside of like the heist and everything, all the Wish.com Fast and Furious stuff, it felt like Need to be Pro Street, but with an open world. Fortunately, I haven't played yet. Need to be Pro Street. I'm gonna put it in odd tier. I mean, Pro Street they absolutely excelled at the atmosphere. And at the atmosphere in Need to be Pro Street, and then everything. I mean, it's the atmosphere that makes Pro Street so good, and like the sense of speed, the gameplay stuff, the progression. Pro Street was just such a good Need Speed game. Need Speed Rivals, it's yeah, I'll put in good. Being Rivals, it's like buggy as heck and has like terrible netcode, but the core gameplay is pretty good and it looks extremely good for a like almost 10-year-old game. So Need to be Rogue Challenge. This is just the European version of High Stakes. I don't really know if I need to put this here. Shift to Unleashed, it was okay. Yes, the worst selling Need for Speed game of all time. That is a fact. Shift to Unleashed only sold like 1 million copies, for all I know. And it was such a flop to a point where it almost killed Slightly Mad Studios. Sorry. So Shift to Unleashed, I mean, the physics were really annoying. They're really bad. I mean, but it had a pretty good atmosphere. The graphics were good for by like 2011 standards. I mean, the car list was decent. I wasn't really a huge fan of the career mode that much. It had a very interesting UI. The soundtrack was almost like big budget movie quality. Yeah, Shift to Unleashed was pretty because it wasn't really found the core like progression career, and the physics were pretty bad. Need to be Shift 1. It was decent. I played Shift 1 a lot. I mean, Shift 1, the career mode was really good. Had the physics, the immersion especially, it was a lot better than Shift to Unleashed, if I'm honest. And Shift 1 was pretty good. Remember, Need Speed the Run, I've been playing through it lately, but it's going to go in very good. So Need Speed the Run, my only like actual issue with it are the physics, kind of, because I don't know, kind of takes a while to get used to them. But the game, it was just really short. The main campaign, the run, it was really short. And then the graphics are starting to show their age at this point. Like there are a ton of low-res textures. That wasn't that bad for 2011, but now it's starting to show its age. Like, and the fact that so many cars were locked behind multiplayer, which is especially bad now since the servers are shut down. Need Speed Undercover. Do I need to say more? The game was buggy. The graphics were 5 years outdated. The story sucked. Even by Need Speed standards, definitely. Probably the worst story Need Speed game, honest. But so, do I need to say more about Undercover? Underground 2. Pretty easy. So, I like Underground 2 way more than like Underground 1. Because of that Underground 1, as you progress through the game, the rubber banding AI combined with the like extreme amount of traffic on the tracks and the tracks themselves just made the game get extremely nasty. Or unless you return all of your performance parts back to stock, which that's what solve a lot of the rubber banding problems, and you can like use your car better. You know what I mean? Underground Rivals, this thing was freaking sick. Probably my favorite Need to Speed game on the PSP. Easily my favorite. But the progression was pretty interesting. I had like the best gameplay out of all the PSP Need to Speed games. Yeah, Underground 1, you're gonna hit me first, but I'm probably gonna put in, I can put in the best because it definitely had some issues. Like you have the lack of an end game, you have the terrible rubber banding AI. You have the repetitive tracks, the traffic. But the fact that you can only have one car. And V-Route 2, I haven't played any of these. Need Speed World. So, if I was going to judge it by now, it would be a very good game. But let's pretend that I was actually wanting to play back in like 2010, 2013. It would probably be awful because it had extremely bad microtransactions, and it just felt like probably most fun. But by then, probably been awful or like mediocre at best. But today, it would easily be a very good game. So one of the biggest issues with Need Speed World, or should I say like the biggest issue, were the terrible microtransactions. So from what I've heard, you have to pay like $100 for like a single McLaren F1. Sounds familiar. And Need Speed World had terrible microtransactions, but ever since it's gotten revived, it's very good. I highly recommend Need Speed World. Overpass, I haven't played. Project Cars 2, I've played quite a bit on the wheel. It's very good sim racer, in my opinion. I mean, when I play on a controller, which I played about that a few times, I play like absolute garbage. Like, you can't really control anything. But wheel, it's very good. And then, yeah, Project Cars 3, I'm gonna put in okay. I mean, if it was called something like Shift 3 or just like Project Cars something, like spin-off or like just its own game, it would be a very, like, a good game. But this is Project Cars 3 that causes a whole bunch of issues when it doesn't feel like a racing simulator. We probably all know this story. But as a game itself, if you ignore the Project Cars 3 stuff, I actually enjoy the game quite a bit, especially on a wheel. I really like Project Cars 3 on a racing wheel. Project Cars 1 I haven't played that much. Mostly because most of my gameplay was on a controller and it played terribly on a controller. PGR 2 haven't played. PGR 3. PGR 4. There. I did it. So this is the only Project Gotham racing game I have, as you can probably tell, but PGR 4, very good game. Like, I like the tracks a lot, the progression, with the car sounds especially. Even like 15 years later, it's probably some of the best car sounds of all time. PGR 1, of course, I haven't played. Race Room, I haven't played that much. R Factor 2, I have it, but again, I haven't played that much. R Factor 1, I don't have played any of the MRI games. Make sure to spank my butt again, but I have not played Rocket League, unfortunately. This game, I'm probably going to put it awful because my experience was extremely broken. Like, the game did not work when I had it. My Runner, I haven't played that much. Same for the Snow Runner. But Test Drive Limited 2, so, I mean, a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to put in okay. My problem with it were mostly the driving physics, which were so bad. I mean, at times, the driving sorry. At times, the driving physics are extremely awful. It gets very frustrating. Other than that, I had 2 huge maps, but they weren't that dense. But, I mean, there's so many things going for it, but it kind of just gets knocked down here because of the physics. I've been TDU1. I could put in very good. I like TDU1 way better than like TDU2 because the handling was just so much better, and it wasn't as story focused as the second game, which is kind of a plus because the issue's story was pretty lame, if I'm honest. The Crew 2, I just started revisiting it recently, and I guess it's okay now. So back to my point, I pretty much loathed the game because of its like terrible microtransactions. Like the graphics were pretty bad. I didn't like the physics, but after some updates, it's not like so bad anymore. The Crew 1, oh my god, I'm not gonna put in like very good best because it does have its issues with the physics. Mostly the physics. Other than that, it has a whole lot of content. And the Crew 1 is a pretty good game. East Speed 1, haven't played. Beat Rally 4, I haven't played that much of it, but I remember it being pretty alright. It just wasn't that special. Haven't played. But WRC 8, and we're gonna put it in. We're gonna probably the first WRC game that people actually cared about. I mean, the car sounds were freaking terrible. And, well, but the game, it is challenging. It's very well on a wheel. The weather is amazing. Yeah, I haven't played that. Wreckfest, it should be pretty. Oh, wait, never played. Wreckfest, it's obviously a very enjoyable game. I Wreckfest a lot. And then Tourist Trophy, Isle of Man, never played. And now I'm going to add some more. Now I gotta add some more games to it. Oh, I should probably raise the bitrate. I'll be right back. I just bumped up the bitrate, and I'm going to add some more views to it. Guys that weren't on the tier list. And then if I zoom in, whereas, so there's some more that I want to add. So awful. Boy, too many, like extremely terrible racing game. Best. I can add. Oh wait, what's not? Forza Horizon 5. That'd be in. But I mean, Forza Horizon 5. But first Forza game that I really got excited for, because we were in a massive racing game drought since 2020, and then Horizon 5 Paris saves our bus from not having a racing game. We're extremely, and so Horizon 5 is gonna be in the best. Or what's some R's I wanna layer? Maybe this would reference.
I talked to Corey LaJoy and Ricky Stenhouse on pit road on air during qualifying, and they didn't hide from this as we ride on board with Briscoe in the Ford Performance Camp. They both told me they're so bad at the track they use the brake.
Oh yeah, BeamNG Drive also. We're in best. I mean, BeamNG Drive was pretty much like the sandbox driving game.
So with Toyota's help, I designed a car to welcome you with open arms.
Have that. So as I'm shocked for though that now Forza Horizon 5 wasn't here, but Gran Turismo 7 was. Okay, those are two that I'm going to added.
PNC Bank believes that if a pair of goggles can help your backhand get better, then your bank should help you budget even better. Virtual Wallet is so much more than a checking account. It's low cash mode.
So that is it.
24 hours of extra time to help you avoid an overdraft fee. Virtual Wallet with low cash mode from
Anyways, thanks everyone for joining the stream, and I will see you guys later. For another week, because I am leaving. Please, bye.